Welcome back to Peak Performance Psychology. Today, we're tackling the one area where our brains fail us the most: money. Think about it. We're smart, right? We read the finance books, we know the math, but somehow we still feel anxious, still buy high and sell low, and still struggle to stay consistent. Why? Because money isn't just math, it's psychology. Today, we're breaking down the brilliant book, The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. We're pulling out the 3 most powerful yet simple lessons that will change how you think about wealth, risk, and, most importantly, your own behavior. Stick around to the end where I reveal the most counterintuitive truth about wealth that will allow you to sleep soundly tonight. Let's dive in. The first mistake we make is simplifying success. We love the narrative that wealthy people are genius strategists who deserve every penny. Housel's lesson 1: nothing is as good or as bad as it seems. Every financial outcome is a product of forces far beyond your control: luck and risk. Relatable example: the person who started a tech company in 1999 and got rich, they were smart, yes, but they were also incredibly lucky about the timing of the internet boom. The person who invested in a brilliant idea in 2008 and got wiped out, they weren't dumb, they were hit by unexpected systemic risk. Here's the peak performance takeaway: you cannot measure your success solely against others because you don't know their luck exposure and they don't know yours. Stop focusing on the single extreme successes, the lottery winners and the billionaires. Instead, focus on the patterns and behaviors that work for most people most of the time. This eliminates ego and reduces unnecessary risk. This is perhaps the most famous yet most misunderstood concept in finance. We all know about compounding, but we don't emotionally get it. Housel's lesson 2: Warren Buffett's wealth isn't due to him being the smartest investor, it's due to him being a decent investor for 75 years. His secret is time. Most people treat compounding like a quick fix. They want to see exponential returns in 1 year. But compounding isn't a quick sprint, it's a slow, steady snowplow. The emotional hurdle? Our brains are wired for immediate gratification. A 7% return over 30 years feels boring compared to the hype of cryptocurrency trading next week. This boredom is the biggest reason people fail. They get impatient and pull their money out looking for excitement. The power of time? The magic only happens in the final years. If you look at a 30-year chart, the first 15 years look flat. The growth only explodes in the last decade. You have to endure the boring part to get the rewarding part. Here is a peak performance mindset. Treat consistency like a mental workout. The goal isn't to be brilliant today, the goal is to be unbroken tomorrow. The greatest financial advantage is simply staying in the game longer than everyone else. This is the darkest, most relatable lesson in the book. Housel's lesson 3: the hardest financial skill is setting the goalpost of enough. We live in a culture of endless comparison. You hit $100,000 and immediately you start looking at the person who hit $500,000. This is the treadmill of misery, and it is the single greatest destroyer of financial stability. The risk of the edge is the moment you lose sight of enough, you introduce catastrophic risk. People who go bankrupt often didn't need more money. They lost everything trying to get 1 more percent on the edge of safety. The financial irony: true wealth isn't about having the highest number. It's about having the freedom to control your time. The moment the pursuit of money compromises your time, your family, or your sleep, you are fundamentally poorer regardless of your bank balance. Peak performance application. Define your enough. Write it down. Maybe it's a specific number, or maybe it's a lifestyle. I have enough when my passive income covers my core living expenses. Once you hit it, stop moving the goalpost. Protect what you have. We've covered luck, compounding, and enough. All of them lead to the same counterintuitive truth, the one I promised you at the beginning. If you take one lesson from the psychology of money and this channel, it should be this: the highest form of financial success is not achieving the highest return. It is achieving financial results that allow you to sleep well at night. Your money goals should not be optimized for maximum wealth. They should be optimized for maximum psychological peace. A portfolio that makes you nervous is not a good portfolio, even if it has a high expected return. A safe, simple, boring portfolio that allows you to be consistent and protects you from the emotional volatility of greed and fear is the ultimate key to success. It's not about being the smartest. It's about being the most stable. If you want to dive deeper into the mindset of peak performers and start taking control of your financial psychology, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to Peak Performance Psychology. Question for the community: which of these 3 lessons, luck, compounding, or enough, do you struggle with the most? Let me know in the comments below.